Okay, so if we go over to the question 4a, they are telling you to key in the text as indicated below, and you must use the Courier New 12. Okay, now I have sent that digital file for you to make it a little bit easier and quicker, but in the proper exam, they had to enter this in. Okay, now let's quickly just look at your manuscript signs. A manuscript signs, I think you did receive that from Mrs. Weber, is if you read these, it means something. Okay, now it's very important that you understand that you don't count the lines, but you count the spaces. Okay, so if I can quickly show you an example in Word, and you must just indicate for me if you can't see the Word document that I'm opening now. Okay, I hope you can still see it. If I, for instance, let's quickly insert a shape. Okay, I'm going to show you now exactly what I want, because this is sometimes you lose a lot of stupid marks because of this. Okay, I'm trying to just create a big paragraph marker. What is put there in a little bit smaller, I want to explain to you. This is where your paragraph marker is. In other words, when there's two lines, you don't count the lines as a paragraph separator. You only count that space. Okay? So if I have another one over there, it means I'm going to have another space. So there's 3 lines, but can you see I'm not counting the lines for my spaces. I'm counting the paragraph markers. Okay? So if you go back to your question paper and you see that as displayed, that is only one paragraph marker. So if you go to your Word, it means if you put on your paragraph marker under your home ribbon, you can take it off. Remember, it does not print. Then you will see that there is 2 at the moment. Okay, so when there is only one of those, then there should only be one paragraph marker. Okay, are you with me? There should be another line, but you catch the drift. Okay, so let's carry on. So you had to type this in, but like I said, I've already sent it to you. Now, the following that I'm going to explain to you is very important for me. I want you to understand that when you do your question paper, you must see this as 2 separate question papers. So you must see this as a question paper, the instructions, and then you must see your template as another instruction. So I always ask my students to go and click on what you've done. So highlight that which you have done, or make a little tick next to it so that you can see you have done that already. Okay, so I'm going to open up the coffee document now. And, okay, it says now WordPad. Hopefully it will now. Why is it now not in the correct? Just quickly going to open up a new document. Looks like my computer has saved it now in the wrong format, which is fine. I'm just going to copy it into a new Word document. Okay, that is how you want it to look like. So if I'm not going to go back and forth on this to save some time, but I just want you to see what I'm doing here. So if they ask you to insert question 4 in capital letters, left aligned in the examination number, right aligned, you must go to your Word, okay, and you must insert your header, okay. They are asking you to put, let me just quickly get to that page for myself now. You must put your question 4a left aligned. So question 4a is going to be on this side. Okay, and I think they actually ask for capital letters. So if you made that mistake, just quickly go back and make it uppercase. And then how am I going to go from that side all the way to my right hand? I can't click left the right align, because then it's going to move my question there. I need to use my tab. So I press my tab 2 or 1 times depending on where my examination number must be. And I just put in my, that must also be capital letters, exam number. Okay, you're obviously going to put your 10 what in there. Okay, then the next question they are asking you here is Use left and right margins of 2.5. Go and click that. So the reason why I'm telling you that this is two different question papers is that some of them are there by the manuscript signs, like you can see there, I've only put one space. But some of them are only instructed like you saw on the question paper. So when you put in your margins, you will find it under the page layout, the ribbon, on the page layout ribbon, and you will go to margins, and you will see the 2.54 is already a custom made one. It's already set there by default. But let's say they've asked you for a funny margin like 3.79 or whatever, top and left or left and right. You will go to the margins. Okay, let me just quickly show you again. Margins, you will say custom margins, and then you will enter in the values that they are telling you if it's not already in a default setting there. Remember, you don't have to put the centimeters as a unit because it's already calibrated in centimeters. Your computer is supposed to be calibrated there. You will see in your question papers, they always give you a little inch there as well. That says 1 inch. They will also do that with anything else, with your tab stops and with your indentations. Just ignore that. It's just to confuse you. We only work with the centimeters. Okay? Then they are also asking you the text must be left aligned in single line spacing except when they are asked you otherwise. So you tick that off. You go back, you make sure that when you press Control A, everything is marked. Control A is a shortcut. You go to paragraph, you make sure that everything is in a single line. Remember, single line can also be 1.0. Double spacing is 2.0. Sometimes they ask you that and you must know that. So that is already done, and you must make sure that everything is left aligned. I think it was justified before. So make sure it is left aligned. And then you must save this as coffee. Okay, and then they ask you to print it out because you are going to use that for the second time. Now, all of what you've done here now counts up to 10 marks. It's a lot of marks for not doing a lot. Okay, obviously you had to type this in and make sure you didn't make any spelling mistakes. Just take note, they are asking you for that to be in the Courier New. Okay, it was in Arial, so just make sure you do change that. Okay, now in question 3, or it's actually question 4B, they are asking you retrieve that coffee which you've just now saved. Okay, so I'm not going to retrieve it because I'm already working in it. They are asking you to change that to B, so you're just going to change that into B, and you're going to leave your examination number as it's given there. I think it's normally your ID number if you don't have an examination number. And then you must edit the document as indicated in the text. Okay, now again, I want you to realize that you have your instructions here and then you have this template. Make sure you tick both, because if you don't, you're going to fall into the habit of skipping something very easily. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start off with the instructions. The first instructions ask me to change the left hand margin to 2.8 centimeters. Only the left hand. I'm ignoring the inches. So I'm going back to my Word. I'm saying page layout, margins. Remember, this is a custom margin now. It's only the left side. I'm taking all of that out with the centimeters and I'm just putting in 3.81. Just be careful if you work with your nums lock that your nums lock is, however, switch on. Otherwise, you're going to start typing and nothing is going to appear. And you're just going to say, okay, and can you see it's made your indentation to the left side of your margin quite big. Then the next one is, so once you have done that, then mark it. Say you've done it. It's done. Insert the following footer, best coffee machine ever, in bold capital letters and send it. So there's a lot of stuff that you need to do. So tick each one as you go along. Okay, so first of all, you're going to go into insert. You're going to go to footer. You're going to say you're just going to take the first one because there's not a specific one at the moment. You're going to say you want to type in here best coffee machine ever with two exclamation marks. Please make sure that you do not make spelling mistakes or typos because it will count against you. All of this must be bold. So you're going to go home, make sure it's highlighted. You're going to go to the home ribbon. You're going to bold it. You're going to make it capital letters, which is uppercase. And then you're going to center it. Please just take note. I'm going to refer back to this when we do Excel. Then you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Just make a little mental note. So now I'm going back to my question paper. I said I did this. I did put in the footer. I made it bold. I made it in capital letters and I centered it. So everything is done. Now, number 5, remember I haven't started with my manuscript signs yet. I'm just busy with my instructions as far as I can go until I need to do something else. Okay. Now, when you get to find and replace, I would actually prefer for you to do everything first. Do the editing first because sometimes you need to type in something that has that word in it that you need to find and replace, and then it's now already done. So if you're doing this first before you do your manuscript sign. So can you see what I'm trying to say when I say first start off with the instructions, but when you get to a point where you feel maybe this can be compromised because when you look for this now and yes.
Mhm. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you can speak.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I thought you said that you want to say something. Is it okay?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's okay.
Okay, you can ask me. I'm here to answer your questions. Okay, I'm carrying on.
No. Yes.
Okay, so basically when you get to this side, now obviously this looks a little bit funny because it's in, I'm just quickly going to see if I can actually locate a better version for you just quickly. I wanted to download it. I think I did send it. Otherwise, I'm just quickly going to open that as a Word. If you would just excuse me for a second, I'm just going to open this as a Word document because it looks funny now. If I can't get hold of it now, then I'll just use that. So I'm just going to open it up as a Word. Okay, because it's looking not as it should look. Maybe it will look better now once I have opened it in Word. Let's just quickly convert it. Okay, so basically what's asking here, okay, they're giving me a lot of grammar mistakes now. So let's just carry on with this. Okay, it is opening up. Okay, let's just see if it is a better display than that one. Sorry, it's taking a bit of the time now to convert it into PDF. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm just quickly going to take you here because it looks funny on there, but it seems like it's not looking very well on this side either. Hopefully when you print it out, it looks better, but I'm going to try to explain to you what they are asking. Okay. So this is basically referring to the domestic bean to copy machine. So you must take that whole thing and copy it to the end of the document. Okay? So I'm going to go back into this and I'm going to take all of that. But now remember they say copy. They didn't say cut. So you're not allowed to take it out. You're not allowed to move it. That must still stay there. But you must also take a copy and then paste it. So you can either press Control V as a shortcut or just say right click and paste. I like Control V as a shortcut because you know it's going to paste everything as asked. Then the second option there, now when you've done this, mark that, highlight it, make sure you've done it. The next one is to make it uppercase, bold, underline, and center. That one, not the one that you've moved, the one that has stayed there. Okay? So they are asking you to make it uppercase. They ask you to underline it and center it. and make it bold as well. That is for 4 marks. It's a lot of marks for only a few things to do. Okay? Then this, now you can't see it probably, but that 1.5 spacing is supposed to go in there. That refers to that whole thing there, 1.5. They are very nice here. They sometimes just say LS, 1.5 LS. Then you must know, or SP. That is the abbreviation for line spacing. Okay? So that's only that. So you can either go to your shortcut and say 1.5, or you can go into your paragraph settings and choose the 1.5. Okay? And then the next one they're asking you there, that little funny thing that looks like a Q that went all wrong means you must delete that. Well, they basically say delete that sentence, that the longy coffees are one of the best. That one that is now striked through, the best must be deleted. See, it's very difficult to read this, so you must get into practice with this. I thought maybe they are saying delete the whole thing, but now I see it's only in that line, and they are actually deleting that one. The one, there's two best. So you must just make sure that you delete one of those. Okay? And just take it out of that sentence. And then they are telling you on this manuscript sign to indent. Now it looks a little bit funny, but there it is. It says indent both margins from left and right at 20 centimeters. So you are going to do a left and right indentation on that paragraph. So you're going to mark the paragraph. You're going to go to paragraph settings. You're going to go left must be 2 centimeters and right must also be 2 centimeters. Again, you don't have to type in the centimeters. It's already calibrated. Can you see what I do? Okay. And then when we get to this point, this is also a very familiar transcript sign or manuscript sign they like to ask. They give you this numbers. That number must be 1, 2, 3. So you will see there it says probably represent the best money for value. It must read the best value for money. So for and value must be turned around. Okay, that is what that transverse. They sometimes give you the TRS there. There's the TRS. Okay, so then you have to go and make sure that it says it can probably represent the best money for value. Then you take the 4 and you cut it and you go paste it at the other end. You can right click or just press Control V and paste so that it reads nicely. Okay? Then the last one here says you must sorry for this, but it says it must be the spelling, the SP refers to that spelling mistake there. So you will go into that and you will say, okay, centralize is right click and you just choose the one that fits in. So the top one is the better option. And then if you go back, it also said it must be justified. Sorry, this will look a lot better in your, this must go there. So every time you've done something, you just mark it. Okay, so it must be justified. What does justification means? It means it literally needs um, to be aligned in that way. Justification. Okay? And actually that must go up there, but if you typed it in, it would have been correctly done. Okay, and then there's one more thing on there with the manuscript signs. It says DS. Okay, there it is. That DS has moved. It must go in there. DS means double spacing. Okay, so you will mark that whole thing. You will either go there and take 2 because 2 is equal to double spacing, or you will choose double there and Bob's your uncle. It's the same thing. Okay, and then just make sure there is a space in between that and the last one. Okay, but we're not done yet, so it carries over to the next page. Or are we done? Okay, now that they say that is it. So is there any questions with regards to this specific question, or can I carry on to the next one? Okay, I'm carrying on then. So if you retrieve the best coffee, I see it's again now saved in a WordPad. Don't you worry, you will receive the correct one. I'm just quickly going to copy this and put it in the correct word compatibility mode. Okay, just going to open up a new Word and paste it in here. This would have been given to you because it says there on the question paper, retrieve. Okay, then you can retrieve it directly from your exam folder. Okay, so let's read the questions. It says retrieve the document, best coffee, and then edit the instructions below. Okay, now the first one says that you need to insert the header examination left and question 5 right aligned. So by now you must know this off by heart. It goes to insert and you choose header and you just choose the top one and you say, okay, you want your examination number must now be on this side. Oh, hold on, sorry. Insert. Now what happened there? Insert my header. Okay, so your examination number must go there. I'm just going to say NX and remember all of that must be capital letters. You can start off by using your caps lock from the start. And then remember I can't just do that because it's going to move over. I must use my tab stop. And then I will put in my question 5. Okay, again it must be capital letters. I always forget to do that. But then luckily I can save it by doing that. Okay, now that is question 3. Question 4 is asking you for the hyphenation in the document. Now, a hyphenation, for those of you who don't know, is called basically in Afrikaans we call it a afkappings sign. So literally what happens if you have a word that goes over in the next line but it needs to be in look like this, it will automatically hyphenate that whole thing. So to hyphenate your whole document, you must first make sure that it is completely highlighted by pressing Control A. Then you will find the hyphenation under page layout and you will say you want to do it automatically. You're not going to choose manual because that's going to defeat the purpose. Your examiner is not going to do it for you, so you must choose automatic. Can you see there it has done it? Pipeline competition. Okay, so remember it's on the page layout hyphenation, but you need to Control A and make sure everything is highlighted before you can do that. That was question 4. So we've both done both of that, so that we can highlight as well as 3. Now they are asking you at question 5, change the left and right margin of the page, 1 only. Okay, so I'm going to show you this because it's different from the one that we've done before. It is again a customized one. And they say left and right, so both left must be 3.81 and right must also be 3.81. But now you can't apply it to the whole document. You must only apply it. Now they give me to this point forward, but what you actually should do before they are asking you that, you must highlight this one. Okay? And then you can go to your margins and it will give you the option there to say selected text. Otherwise, it's going to be on the whole one. So let's just quickly test that. That's going to be 3.8. So you'll have to go back and highlight it if you didn't do it before. Otherwise, it's not going to give you that option. And okay, it shouldn't do that. It should actually just do it on the first page. I don't know why it did on both because I did highlight only the one, but it shouldn't do that. Okay, it should only be then done on the page that you've selected. Okay, sometimes they do. I can recall they ask you for the, yeah, it shouldn't do that. I don't know why it's doing it, but it shouldn't do that. There's a section break. Okay, Nevertheless, hopefully it doesn't happen with you tomorrow. Sometimes the computer does that, and then you literally know you've done everything correctly, and then this still happens. So I will try to figure out why this happens, but for now, let's just carry on. But that is where you change it to the one page only. Then they say page one must be vertically centered. Okay, so it's only this page. All right, so you will go then into your size, which is also page layout. You will go to more paper sizes. You'll go to the layout option and you will make the vertical alignment to be centered. There's no other way where we can do this. That is the only way where you can do that. Okay, but let's just quickly check there. It did tell you to only give it to the section, so you can just say to the section you want to apply the layout to the section. Okay, not to the whole document, then you'll just do that again. I just can't understand why it is seeing this. Maybe it's because of the section break over there that it sees it as two different or as the same one. I don't know why it does that. It shouldn't do that, but it might be because of that. I'm just quickly going to see if I say this, if it's going to help. Okay, looks like now it's centered only that one. Okay, now that's vertically how you vertically center a page. Now, if you go back and you mark that so that you know that it's done. Now you get to point 7, which says change the paragraphs where indicated. Now, what on earth? Where is that? Now you must use your template, your paragraph, your manuscript signs. Okay? So you will have to now go and say, okay, you have to basically go and look for it. I am looking for it now. They say uppercase insert two paragraphs, columns only, paragraphs 1 and 4. Okay, so they basically are asking you in the question paper to take all of those paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, and 4, to put these all of these into there's something wrong with this text. But anyway, I'm just gonna teach you the methods because I see now there's a fifth one. But I'm going to teach you the method. Just focus on the method for now. So you're going to highlight the text that you want in the column. And you're going to go to page layout and say column. And you're going to say 2. Now let's say they have asked you that the number 2 must be over in the second column. You have to cut that so that it goes over to the next column. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That by doing that, you're going to put in a break, and that is going to be a column break. And you see it neatly do it, then let 2 starts in your second column. And then sometimes they like to ask you to make a little line in between as well. That you will find under more columns, and then you will tick the line in between, and then it will do that. Okay. So then they are also asking you, and unfortunately my paragraphs is all over the place now, but I'm not going to struggle now to show you. I think I've deleted the one here. But basically how you will sort this paragraph is by literally going and go and cut this one and then make sure you paste it into the one next to it. Okay, there is another sort way, but normally I don't teach that for the students because if you don't know how to do it off by heart, it can be very confusing. So when they ask you to do that, which I've shown you now, let me just quickly show you where that instructions is. Here it is. You must insert the paragraph numbers as indicated and leave 2 letter spaces after the number. Sort the paragraphs. Now, what you can also do is you can take all of that numbers out and renumber that. But before that you do that, you must make sure that all your paragraphs is in the correct order. And then after copy and pasting that, you can now go and create and put in your numbers, okay, which is found under home, and then you will put in your numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then the spaces in between means there should be 1, 2 spaces. Can you see there from there to there each little character? So let's say there's a 2 and there's a little dot, that is one space. And then there's another space. Okay? So that is what it means when it says to two letter spaces. Okay? Um, okay, so that is that on the question paper. We've done number 7, so go mark it because you can see now there's a lot of stuff we've not yet done. Okay. Now they are asking you to find and replace the word coffee with coffee in capital letters bold. I think I actually skipped this one in the previous question, but I'm glad we get another one here because this is very important. Before you start off with find and replace, you must make sure that your cursor is in front of your document. If it's somewhere at the bottom, it's not going to do the correct search. Okay, so make sure your cursor is at the top of your document. You will go to home. You will go to replace, not to find. Okay, they are asking you to replace the word coffee and make sure you type it in correctly. You must replace it with coffee, okay? But that coffee must be in capital letters, bold and underlined. Now, all of that stuff that I've mentioned is the font of that. So make sure when you do the fonting that your cursor is in the correct place, because if it's there, you're going to edit that one. You don't want to edit that one. You want to find that one and replace it with this. Then you will click on more. You will go to format. You will choose font and then you will choose whatever they are asking you. Now please note, in this find and replace, all caps is the same as uppercase and small caps is the same as lowercase. They use different words. Don't ask me why. It is what it is. You need to just know that. So it needs to be in capital letters, which is all caps. It must be bold and it must be a double underline. Okay? So you will find the underline style there is double underline. So it must look like that. They like asking you bold and italic. That is the only way where you can do both. Outside, you have to click both of those. But inside this editing, there is an option for both. There you will choose the size if that matters and also the font. You won't choose color because you won't print in color and we don't mark your stuff digitally. Okay? So make sure when you say replace all that there was 20 or at least more than, if it's 0, you have done something wrong. So look at your replacement. Can you see my format is there? It should be there. If it's written there, then you must first go and say no formatting and do it all over again. Okay, so you can go out here and see that all your coffee has been replaced now. Okay, apologies for how this document looked, but I just want you to focus on the method for now. Okay? Because I got this as a PDF, so I converted it, and that's why now it went into WordPad. But nevertheless, we have done now find and replace. Now, can you see why it's so important to highlight these stuff so that you can see, okay, we haven't done this. Where is this? We have to change this still. Okay? So I go back to this and I know this must be, it's on my manuscript, it must go into Lucida handwriting. That's the type of font they want. It's that one. It must be 16 point, which I will do there. It must be uppercase, which I change there. It must be bold and it must be centered. Okay, so that is what you need to do. Then, if you go back to your question paper, there is a little, that block must actually stand in full. In full will refer to the one in that line. So you must just go and look for the one there. It's normally referring to a number. Okay, so when it says in full, you must type that 6. That's why it's underlined. That doesn't mean you have to underline it again. It just shows you that is the one that they're referring to. So you must go and take that out and type in 6. Okay? You won't lose marks for the underline because it was underlined. So you can actually leave it like that. You will just get the mark for writing out the word in full. So that is what that manuscript means, in full. Just before we move further on, Can you see that paragraph marker there has two spaces? Remember I told you you need to count the spaces, not the lines. So if you go back there, you put on your paragraph marker, you must make sure that there's two spaces in between those. So you will see there's a very big one now. The reason for that is, and that is the mistake you make sometimes, is the line spacing is probably very big there, or it can also got to do with the fact that your heading is in a 16 point. So just make it normal again before you carry on with doing that. But there's still something that bothers me there. It shouldn't be so big. Okay, but just make sure, because now I'm actually glad this happened, because look now, when you print your thing, your lecturer is gonna see one flippin' big space there, which looks like, remember when you print it, it's gonna look like this. That looks like 17 paragraph space markers. They don't know you worked in a font that is bigger. So you need to make sure, and I'm trying to see now what's going on here. Why is it so big? I don't get. The other thing that can also be happening is that, yes, that is the mistake. It must be 0. Okay? The point after that must be 0. Let's see if it makes a difference. Yes. Okay. And again, it's 16. So make sure you work in a 12. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say with regards to the spaces. That is a proper two-spaced one, not the one that I've showed before. So make sure there's 1, 2 spaces, not 3. As I said before, remember your examiner can't see these ones. So when they are looking at your spaces, they want to see, okay, one space will be more or less that font size. So make sure you work with the current one, not with the big heading one. And they are sneaky. They will always ask you that after you've used a 16.1. So change it again then to 12 underneath. And make sure your spacing is on both on 0. Don't worry about the indentation now. Okay, so that we have done, so we can go and also mark that. I can't mark it because it's a shape, but just make a little tick on your question paper. We've done the in full. Can you see now everything that is now deleted there must be deleted? Okay, all of that, there's a little sign that says deleted. So we will go back and we will look for that and we will delete everything there. It is, I think, from that side up until there. Okay. And then they are asking you to put in a page break here. So everything that goes from here down must be on the next page. Okay? That must actually must be in that one. But anyway. Okay. That was also supposed to be deleted because it was part of that. So make sure that you put your cursor in front of that. Don't put it on top because then it will cut it. Look here, if I put in a page break now, you can go to insert page break or to page layout and choose the page. Can you see it takes that thing there? You're going to lose a mark because there's too much of a space. Make sure when you put in your page break, you put it right in front of the word that needs to be on the new page, and then you will do that. That is how you see there is a page break inserted. Okay? Remember, if you want to delete that, you must press delete on your keyboard. Otherwise, it will stay there. Okay, so that has been done. So we've done the page break as well. Um, that goes together with this. It says you must uppercase, bold, double underline. Now, I think by this, you know how to do that. I'm just quickly going to show you again. So you're going to mark that. They want it to be bold. They want it to be uppercase. And they want it to be double underlined. That is where you find double underlined. You go up to the options and choose double underline. Okay, which you didn't take now. It looks like a single one. But nevertheless, we've chosen the correct one. Okay, and then you will see on here, everything else must also be uppercase and bold. Uppercase and bold. Please go and make sure that you do that on your question paper. Again, there's a deletion, so you will take out and delete everything. Okay, this is repetitive work, so I just want to save some time. I know it's already 9 o'clock. Okay, this you will take into a 1.5 spacing. You will do that under your paragraph, and you will say your line spacing must be 1.5. So that's how you will do it. SP caps means you need to make it spaced capped. Okay, so there's an option there when you say you are welcome. Let's just find it here. SP. It's also found here under the yeah, it's actually suppose I think it should be the toggle case. They spaced it out. Should be over here. I don't know why it's not giving you that option. I know they've asked this in a question paper. Can you see the toggle case is where you put in the capital letters of the rest of the case and the smaller caps at the front? Okay, and then I know it should have looked like that in the question paper. I remember I marked this. It should have looked like this, but there's a special one that you can click now. It should have looked like that. Okay? But it's funny that they asked you that. It's normally they do just ask you the toggle one or to make capitalize each letter. Okay. But I'll just make sure of that and send it on WhatsApp if there's anything new. And then the NP means this must be in a new paragraph. Okay, can you see it makes a little block bracket like that? They sometimes also say run on. Run on means you need to take that paragraph back. So you need to basically take that thing out. You need to, if it says run on, you take it out. Okay? In this case, I want that to be in a new line, so you'll just enter and make it a new paragraph. Make sure there's a paragraph spacer in between. So that is what the NP stands for, and you must also bold and center it. Okay, again, that must also be in a new line. That's why it is like that. The little um the little brackets, but I think it's already separated in it was set like that. But that's how they show it to you in a manuscript sign. Okay, so that's Word for you. I know I've went through it very quickly, but if there's not any questions, I want to carry on over to